Hey everyone, Jeremy Knauff here with Spartan Media. And today I want to talk about a problem that I see holding a lot of people back, especially I see this in, entrepreneurs, creators, inventors, people like that. So I'm going to go ahead and describe this problem, and I want you to think in your head if this is something you've ever experienced. And if it is, as we go through this video, I'm going to explain how to fix this so that it doesn't hold you back. So, maybe you've been sitting around watching what other people in your industry are doing, or you've got this idea that you want to create or launch, and you get this feeling that maybe you're not smart enough, or maybe you don't know enough to do this, or you're not equipped, or you're not qualified. Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me a lot. It happens to pretty much any of us who are learning and progressing and advancing in a field. We get to a point where we think that maybe we don't know enough. Maybe we don't have the answers. Maybe we're not as qualified as some people seem to think we are. We get this weird thing going on in our brain where we start to doubt ourselves. And that's actually a good thing. Here's why. When you don't know anything, you generally realize you don't know anything first, right? But then as you start to learn things, as you start to become more experienced in your industry, in your profession, then you start to have this knowledge that you didn't have before. And in the beginning, what happens is you feel like you know so much. You feel like you're an expert. But then the more that you learn, the more you realize how little you actually know. And that's the problem, is that as you advance further, the more that you learn, you realize, hey, I've learned all this stuff before. And every day I'm still learning more stuff. And that tends to make you doubt yourself. Here's the thing. The people who should doubt themselves, and we've all seen them, right? There's a ton of idiots out there who don't know shit, but they think they're the biggest expert in the world, and they think that, they know everything that they need to know. When you look at the most intelligent people, they doubt themselves all the time. And that's because they've learned so much, and they continue to learn so much, that they realize how much more there is to learn and how much more there always will be. And we have something that's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And basically what this means is that the people who should doubt themselves tend not to, and the people who are intelligent and know enough and shouldn't be doubting themselves tend to doubt themselves all the time. So what happens is, as you get to this point, right, in the beginning you don't know anything, then you start to learn stuff and you think that your knowledge is just through the roof. But then as you start to, you've got this weird inverse relationship between what you actually know and your confidence in your knowledge of that. So as that happens, then we start to see people be afraid to make decisions, be afraid to take action, go after their goals because they think that maybe they don't know enough to do it. So what I want to do is share with you guys some things that I found helpful in my own life to address this issue. Because like I said, it is something that I've dealt with, and literally every intelligent person I know deals with this. I don't know anybody who's smart that thinks, hey, I have all the answers. That's always the idiots that think that. So one of the things you can do is sit down and give some thought to how much you actually know, right? Think back to when you were at zero. You knew nothing about whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're an author, a business owner, an inventor. Think back to a point when you knew nothing, and then start thinking of your progress. How did you learn what you've learned? What steps did you take? What were some of the milestones in that process? That's going to go a long way in showing you just how much knowledge you've acquired and all the hard work that's gone into that. So that's a great approach there. Another approach is to talk to other people. When you talk to people who aren't in your industry, who don't do what you do, they don't know the things that you know. Once you start to do that, and I'm talking whether it's teaching them things, right? You can get on a stage, or you can go on a podcast as a guest, or just sit down and mentor someone one-on-one in whatever your area of expertise is. As you start to talk to people and answer their questions and explain things to them and walk them through the knowledge and the principles that you have, then it's going to make it very clear in your brain that you know what the hell you're doing and that you're qualified to help people. You may not be at the absolute pinnacle of your industry, but you've got a lot more knowledge than you probably give yourself credit for. So those two things are going to take you a tremendous distance in solving this problem. So like I said, sit down every so often, think about what you've done, think about what you've accomplished, the steps that you've taken to get there, and then teach other people, whether that's on a stage, a guest on a podcast, on TV, writing articles, or sitting down face-to-face, whatever the channel is. Getting that information out there and sharing it with people will help remind you that yes, you really do know what the hell you're talking about. The fact that you're doubting yourself means that you're intelligent enough to be aware of what's going on, and you probably have far more knowledge than you realize. So let's try to stop beating ourselves up. Let's, take the knowledge that we have, work towards the goals we're going for, continue learning. Definitely we don't want to stop that, but stop doubting yourself, because you have a lot more knowledge than you probably realize, and you really shouldn't be doubting yourself the way that most of us are. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. If you found this useful, I'd love it if you'd share it on social media. Click that subscribe button. Then that way you can stay up to date with all the content that I'm sharing here on a regular basis. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thanks, everyone.